The 2024 F1 season has been insane, but the lineup will look a lot different in 2025 across the 20 F1 drivers we will have for what will probably be a very exciting season. We will have a total of 3 confirmed F1 rookies in 2025, but let's also account for Liam Lawson and for somebody that might be joining Sauber soon, which is a Brazilian that's doing very good in the lower formula. But in 2024, currently on the grid right now, we have Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson, and Ollie Bearman, who's coming in and out of races. But I feel like with 3 races, we can actually have a good discussion about these 3 drivers pretty much outshining some very seasoned F1 drivers and exposing them in a light that I think we've never seen in a way before. The first driver that's caught my eye and somebody that I've became a big fan of is Liam Lawson. This guy is incredible. He was able to step in to 5 races in 2023, was super impressive, and was constantly competitive with who I would now say is a seasoned driver in Yuki Tsunoda. He now hops in from Coda, ends up getting points in his first race, ends up competitively racing throughout the whole Mexico GP. Now, for a lot of people, it's up or down whether he was actually doing good there or he was just a little too chaotic, but nobody can say a bad word about how good he did in this previous Brazil GP. It's been constant good performance after good performance, and in 2023, it was much of the same. In Japan, he actually ended up outracing Yuki Tsunoda. The only GP that was actually bad from him from a racing standpoint was Qatar. He ended up actually going out in that GP very early, and it wasn't his best race. But he's been able to handle the rain conditions in a perfect light. He's actually out racing a more competitive, faster car in that of Checo, both in Mexico and now in Brazil, and defended off a 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. So his driving has put him up there with some very seasoned and sensational veteran drivers that have already shown so much to F1. He's done that in, 8 races? You can count that on your hand. That is what Liam Lawson has been able to do. The Kiwi driver is incredible. And there's always current rumors circulating around whether he should go to Red Bull or not, but I think what he's been able to prove is he's feisty, he's obviously got that Max Verstappen type attitude in these last couple of GPs, and he's quick right off the bat. It doesn't take any time for him to get into rhythm. He's automatically fast off the start, and in little time showed us that he is better than drivers like Yuki, who unfortunately is a good driver. I do like Yuki, but if you put a guy next to him that's only driven for 4 to 5 races with very little experience, while Yuki's in his 4th year of F1, it does expose some of the difficulties that Yuki has in that seat in comparison to a driver like Liam, who can step in, do very well. And it also shows that Daniel was never really made out for Formula One ever since his McLaren stint. But the most important part is that Liam is definitely made for the sport and absolutely deserves a seat. It's actually quite incredible that he's not signed already. That probably just has to do with all the fallacies around Perez's contract, who probably doesn't belong in that Red Bull seat in comparison to Liam. I hope and I really, truly believe he should be in that Red Bull seat for 2025 because he has shown incredible pace and I love that feisty attitude. Liam is great and one of the drivers that I think has had one of the best seasons in 2024 in a very short period of time. But in the same way that Liam has been able to show up how good he is, the same goes for the Argentinian Franco Colapinto. Man, this guy is good and very fast. He obviously joined the Williams team in the Italian GP, Monza, however you call it, because Logan was definitely not providing the most pace that you can get out of that Williams. Franco steps up into the seat, has a very good debut in Italy, and then in Baku ends up finishing P8. His 2nd race ever, he outscores by 4 times Logan Sargent, who could not do it in 30 plus races. Now, yes, he did not have the greatest Brazil GP. He crashed a lot, his inexperience showed, but to be able to be quick in the dry weather, which is predominantly what we race in, he will gain experience in the rain. And to be rumored to be called up to Red Bull, which is, I guess, a possibility if you listen to the rumors, is incredible to just have your name mentioned in those talks in a matter of 6 GPs. And not even counting Brazil, every GP has been outstanding. Singapore was a good performance for somebody that was just coming into F1. Then Dakota GP, he makes an incredible comeback, scores points. Mexico was good, the car wasn't that great. And I've already stated the first two. Franco has already shown F1 talent and brings a big audience of people as well as sponsors because it is an Argentinian driver, something we haven't had for a very long time. The way he's able to actually dive into those corners very deep on braking is super impressive. His driving style is actually quite aggressive and fun to watch. Kind of has some similarities to Lewis Hamilton, but it's still very hard to tell with the amount of races that we've had. But his aggression has definitely shown. He's actually put Alex Albon on the back foot plenty of times, and while I do think the drivers are pretty close, that's just a good thing for Franco. If he's close to somebody like Alex, who I think is a talented driver, and we'll see more of that against Carlos Sainz, that should be very close. It tells you that Franco is pretty close to that level in a very short period of time. And a lot of people have started to question, is Alex now actually a good driver? Because he obviously dominated Latifi and Logan, but Franco comes in, automatically some competition, and puts that Williams car in places it didn't belong throughout this 2024 F1 season. So the driver has been able to expose yet again, kind of like Liam did to Yuki. Franco has done that to Alex, and it's a shame that he will not be on the grid for 2025 because this guy has really been impressive in the short amount of time that he's driven in Formula One. I would love to see him in F1 in the future, and I think a lot of people would think the same. Hopefully something happens. I don't know if Red Bull is the right destination for him. Williams would be great. Maybe Carlos Red Bull. That is a current rumor. Don't believe it though. And last out of the drivers that I think has really been showing up to these seasoned F1 drivers is Ollie Bearman. Man, this guy is good as well. Has not had the greatest showing in the Brazil GP, but his performances in both Saudi and in Baku were very impressive. And actually, even with the Brazil GP being a kind of barrier fest for Ollie, he still finished the race in P12, only 7 seconds behind Lewis and Liam, which is impressive after all the incidents that happened. And he beat Nico. Nico, a seasoned veteran driver, someone that people really think is good in the rain. This is Ollie's first time in the rain, so obviously that inexperience is showing. He beats him in Baku. In Saudi, he had a good GP. He's 2-0 on Hulkenburg, and I don't think there was two races in 23 or 24 where K-Mag was actually beating Hulk 2-0. And I think of K-Mag as a great talent, but he's already at that level of Hulk, which most people believe is a very good driver. Obviously in qualifying and in the race, he's super impressive. But this guy at 19 years old, very little experience, is already showing off that talent and that raw pace. I'm excited to see what he can bring to Haas. Obviously, Ocon is going to be a good competitor for him. I do feel like Ocon and Hulk are kind of around that same level of talent. I think the consistency for Hulk is better than Ocon currently at the moment. But look what he did in the Brazil GP. Something Hulk has never been able to achieve in any car. So it tells you it's going to be very competitive with all three of these drivers. Unfortunately, Franco will not be in that seat. Liam deserves a Red Bull seat. And Ollie has just been outstanding from the start. He jumped into that Mexico GP in 2023, showed off some pace in practice, and ever since then, teams have been talking about him consistently. I truly believe that 2025 is going to be a big test for these teams on whether or not they should start to carry their future with the younger generation, because it seems quite exciting. Kimi has a big job ahead of him, and I truly do think he is a talent. We'll have to see how he does against George. Yuki's going to have to show himself off regardless of who is going to be in that seat. Maybe it's Isaac Hajar by some chance if Sergio ends up losing a seat and Liam goes there. Ocon will have to prove himself yet again against the young Ollie. And Gasly, maybe he will have a big competition against Doohan. These rookies are exciting. I'm genuinely excited for the sport. I did not think we would get a rookie lineup like this in 2025. And actually be excited for the potential these drivers have. They're very quick. They've shown that off, and I love the ambition they have. All of them have that mindset of win or nothing, and I can appreciate that. They're not here to make friends, as Liam has said. Now, obviously not enemies either, but they want to win and be the best in the sport. That's something I always appreciate. I find that in myself in competitive nature, so I do like drivers to be that way as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below of these F1 rookies. Who's your favorite? I'd love to hear that in the comments. out of Liam, Ollie, and Franco. Let's talk about them specifically, and then we'll go over the other 2025 ones as the season comes along. Please leave a like, subscribe. It'd mean the world, and peace.